Hello everyone. Today in our second lecture of English, we are going to start with Unit 2 of First Flight, and the name is Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom. Below you can see the pic of Nelson Mandela on his autobiography Long Walk to Freedom. So let's move ahead with the chapter. Before you read, apartheid, that is a policy or system of segregation, that is, you can say separation or discrimination on the basis of race, that is color. So apartheid is a political system that separates people on the basis of race. Can you say which of the three countries given below had such a political system until very recently? North America, South Africa, or Australia? And yes, the answer is very simple and clear. It's South Africa. Have you ever heard of Nelson Mandela? Yes, just few moments before or few seconds back you have heard that word. But yes, it's very famous name, Nelson Mandela. Mandela and his African National Congress Party spent long years of their life, that is a lifetime, fighting against this system of discrimination, that is apartheid. Mandela had to spend 30 years of his life in prison because he was against this policy of discrimination. So he was fighting for the freedom of his people. Finally, democratic elections were carried out in South Africa in 1994, and Mandela became the first black president of a new nation. In this particular extract from his autobiography, Long Walk to Freedom, Mandela tells us about a historical occasion, the inauguration, that is, the opening ceremony. Can you guess what the occasion might be? Check your guess with this news item. That's from the BBC of 10th May 1994. So let's see what does this inauguration tells us about. Mandela becomes South Africa's first black president. Nelson Mandela has become South Africa's first black president after more than 3 centuries of white rule. It was just not 100 or 150 or 200 years long rule of the white on black, but it was more than 300 years. Mr. Mandela's African National Congress Party, that is ANC party, won 252 out of 400 seats in the first democratic election of South Africa's history. So this was historical occasion. The inauguration, that is opening ceremony as I told you, took place in the Union Buildings Amphitheatre in Pretoria today. Amphitheatre, you can see on the right hand side the pic. And amphitheatre means it's a semicircular seating gallery in a theatre. And Pretoria is a place which lies roughly 50 kilometers north of Johannesburg, and it is the administrative capital, one of the 3 capital cities in South Africa. Now this particular day was attended by politicians and celebrities, that is dignitaries, from more than 140 countries around the world. So this was unbelievable. Never again will this beautiful land experience the cruelty that is the oppression of one by another, said Nelson Mandela when he addressed the people in the amphitheatre. Now what does this inverted comma means? Never again means Nelson Mandela told the people in his inauguration speech that from today onwards, never ever will this beautiful land of Africa will be ruled by any other people or country. All will have the right to live a life of their own with full freedom. And jubilant, that is delighted, scenes on the streets of Pretoria followed the ceremony with blacks, whites, and coloreds celebrating together. It means today there was no color discrimination. Today all were moving ahead and enjoying this occasion as one. That is, whether they were blacks or whites or any, they all were celebrating together. More than 1 lakh South African men, women, and children of all races, they sang and danced with joy. Let's move ahead. 10th May, a great day for Africa. 10th May dawned bright and clear, means this was the day when the sun rose with lots of brightness and everything was so very clear to the people. For the past few days, I had been pleasantly, means very happily, surrounded by, that is besieged by great people, that is celebrities or dignitaries and world leaders who were coming to pay their respect before the inauguration started. Here it means Nelson Mandela is addressing in his speech that even before the inauguration, few days before that, great people from all over the world came here. The reason was to pay their respect, and the inauguration would be the largest gathering ever of international leaders on South African soil. South African soil means South African country, on the land of South Africa. This inauguration would be the largest one of international leaders. Before this, never ever this many international leaders had come to South Africa. Now the ceremonies took place in the lovely sandstone amphitheatre formed by the Union buildings in Pretoria. So where did the ceremony take place? It took place in the amphitheatre. For decades, that is for many years, this had been the seat of white supremacy. Means this place was the place where the whites used to rule, but today it was a seat of the black people. And now it was the site of a rainbow gathering of different colors and nations for the installation of South Africa's first democratic non-racial government. Non-racial government means today the government is going to be equal for all. There would be total democracy as we see in our country, India. So today he says that you can see in your surrounding beautiful colors and so many people who are eager and who are over happy to see South Africa taking its oath, becoming a democratic country. Next, on that lovely autumn day, I was accompanied by my daughter Zenani. That is, Nelson Mandela says that it was a day of autumn and he was accompanied on this great occasion by his daughter Zenani. On the podium, that is stage, Mr. De Klerk was first sworn in as second deputy president. First sworn in means Mr. De Klerk was the first person who took the pledge as second deputy president. Then came Thabo Mbeki. As first deputy president, he took the oath. Now when it was my turn, says Mandela, I promised, that is I pledged, to obey and uphold, that is support, the constitution and to devote myself to the well-being of the republic and its people. That is, Nelson Mandela says that after Mr. De Klerk and Thabo Mbeki, now it was his turn to take the oath. And which oath did he take? What did he promise to the people of South Africa? That I will obey and support the constitution and I devote my life for the progress and well-being of my country and my people. To the assembled guest and the watching world, I said, assembled guest means all those people who had gathered over there. He said, today all of us do, by our presence here, confer, means give, glory and hope to the newborn liberty. Why it is said newborn liberty? Because after centuries, people of South Africa were going to enjoy their freedom. So it's known as newborn liberty. Out of the experience of an extraordinary human disaster that lasted too long, more than 3 centuries, human destruction, and it was not some normal disaster, but it was on a vast scale. Human beings were tortured, they were destroyed. So it is said that out of the experience of an extraordinary human disaster that lasted too long, must be born a society of which all humanity will be proud. It means after this many years, today, a new country is taking birth, and here in this country, there will be no discrimination, and the whole world will be proud of this country, because from today onwards in this country, there will be humanity. All will be considered as one, as equal. All will walk on the same platform. There will be no whites and blacks, no high and low, and no rich and poor. All will be given equal respect and honor. So today we stop over here. I'll continue this chapter in a next video, which will very soon follow this particular video. Thank you so much.